started with a poetry night at the University of Technology. We call it University of Technology, Ariel Mayor, and then they changed name. But always they call it University of Technology students. 1977, there was a poetry night that was the first open forum of the leftists that they basically read poems that they were all political, and they surrounded by police, they stay at night, and then in the morning after negotiation they were released, and then they rallied towards the main square in Tehran, and on close to the Revolutionary Square, which named it after the revolution, they were attacked by police, and I had a picture, I remember a picture that the street was packed with the shoes that they were left behind before they ran away because police attacked them brutally. One thing that at that time, the two major guerrilla groups, which was Mujahideen, at that time it was Mujahideen that they were left, and also Fadayan, they were attacked by Savak, the secret police of Shah, which many of their leadership, even in Fadayan, two rank of the main leadership was killed, and they were in one of the weakest point when this uprising started. This is very important that at the same time, clergy and their mosque was very active. They have money because of the relation with the bazaar, and they were everywhere. You can see a few mosques that is controlled by the clergy, and they attracting young people that they were opposed to the Shah, and they were freely organizing. At the same time that Shah and the regime were brutally massacred the left, and the reason is they always thought, and they're still thinking, that against the left and movement of people, they can use this green belt at that time they were calling during the Cold War, or Islamic movement against the rise of the left. The first initiating act by this clergy in order to control this movement and lead it was in Qom. There was an article written in one of the official newspapers and said that Khomeini is from India, he's not Iranian, and blah blah like that. That was used by this clergy to start a big demonstration. That demonstration was smashed by police, and 3 people were killed and many people injured. So from this time after, you see 2 movements parallel to each other. One, Islamic movement. Second is people movement for demanding the prosperity and better life, and all parallel to each other, and you can see how they come and dominate the other movement. In a religious ceremony, 40th day of somebody's death, they always have a ceremony. So that was started. So when January 8th happened, then on 40th day of January 8th, it was in Tabriz, northwest province of Iran, that it was a big demonstration. And I put these pictures at the bottom. These are clergy that police basically gathered, and one person was killed by police at that gathering. At the same time, this picture is not related, it's oil workers strike, but at the same time, students got the people and attacked the bank and government offices. So it was 2 parallels. That Tabriz event was very symbolic, because there was 2 events parallel in the same town. One led by left and tried to bring the demand of people. The other one was controlled by clergy. And I can tell from my experience that was the starting point that clergy started to manipulate the movement. Further development before Shah left Iran in January 1907, it was workers' strike, and also the media. There was teachers' strike. There were lots of strike everywhere demanding their rights. Islamic clergy lead people to attack liquor store, cinema, and even leftist groups. So you can see even in the event that's happening, it was completely diverse. While left was attacking, for example, leading people to attack government offices and bases or that type of thing, clergy purposely lead people to attack liquor stores, cinemas. Those are basically their idea, and that could have been a very good point that what is going to be the dark area that is coming. One of the big events was the burning of the cinema in Abadan. 450 people, they were killed, and they at that time Shah did that. But later on, it was found out that some of these fanatic Islamic, they put fire in it, and it was exposed after the revolution by left group that he was the guy who was in charge. The other thing that is happened is changing cabinet. The Huwaida cabinet, the Ministry of Shah, didn't change for almost 15, 18 years, but exactly during that 1 year, 3 or 4 cabinets was changed. They brought general, he wasn't able to control. They brought different faces. The last face was Shapur Bakhtiyar. And at that time, there was a conference in Guadeloupe because they see there is no way they can control this movement. It was between France, USA, Germany, and England. And USA, with hesitance, accept that they have to bring Khomeini into power. Otherwise, the country going to be in the hands of left, and Soviet Union at that time going to get power. So they agree on that. A week after, they come in Iran and order Shah to leave. There were some generals, they didn't agree. At that time, there was a General Huwaizer, which was the high-rank general of America who was advising the at that time, there was a General Huwaizer, which was the high-rank general of America who was advising the Iranian army. He was in close contact with those dissident generals. When basically Western country, they said, go, Shah left, and you can see the picture of bringing the Shah thing everywhere down, burning his picture, and the title says, Shah is gone. After Shah left, Khomeini came on February 1st, and then after, we had 2 basically shadow government, one shadow government, one official government. The government led from Shah was Shapur Bakhtiyar, and there was a shadow government led by Mehdi Bazargan. Khomeini selected reformists that I was talking before as the prime minister, the next prime minister, and asked people to rally. And thereafter, they were negotiating about how they transit the power from the official government to this shadow government. While the negotiation was start, Shapur Bakhtiyar dissolved the SAWAK, which was the secret police of Shah, and also released the political prisoners. Many political prisoners, they were released at that time. Get to the second stage, which was the transition power was in the merge. There are some news now that at that time, those dissident generals, they were planning coup d'etat. So, and one of them in one of the recent book that is written, we were saying that if we could have killed 10,000 people in one day, we could have just gotten the power again, like Pinochet, and we made the big mistake. But whatever they say, they try, but the movement was so big that it wasn't easy for them to just come and coup d'etat. Every day was changing. While they were just in the negotiation, cadets and technicians in one of the air base in Tehran, they start basically rebelling. And he called the army, the commander-in-chief of the base, called the Royal Guard for help. The Royal Guard sent the troops with the tank, and people heard about that and came in the street. This is one of the barricades basically to prevent those tanks. They were able to ban the tank because they have to pass through a tunnel, and they burned those tanks. They weren't able to reach the base. And from there, people start attacking the bases. I remember that the clergies were sending people and their representatives in the street, and they were asking, no, Khomeini hasn't ordered jihad or fight. Don't attack the bases. They are our brothers. But people didn't listen. They just attacked. So for a few days, the whole city and the bases were in the hands of